Hello everyone, welcome to my second episode of Summarizing a Book. And today's book is Atomic Habits. I know that some of you heard about this book because it's very famous. It's written by James Clear and it is classified in those self-improvement books. So, James Clear starts his book by asking us to determine the bad habits that restrict or limit our potential and those good habits that we need to improve in order to um, make our life more successful. So let's say that we often fail to break those bad habits, you know not because we don't want to, but because we don't have the tools. And one of the important tools that we need is consistency. For example, let's say that you want to improve your reading skills. And the problem here, reading 2 pages in a single day doesn't make you feel wiser. But reading a chapter for every single day for an entire month, here you'll find yourself finishing many books maybe in a year. So, on the other hand, eating a chocolate bar won't expand your waistline. But if you eat sugary treats for every single day for an entire month, here you'll gain weight. And you'll probably find difficulties in adjusting your belt buckle. And that's what James Clear wants to show us in this book. The compound effects of small daily habits can have a lasting and meaningful change in our life. And keep in mind that we should not underestimate the significance of minor improvements and indulgences. The second idea that James Clear discusses in his book, that our daily behavior is not always based on decision making, but on habits. Habits are highly related to our subconscious. And he said that just because daily habits make our life more automated doesn't mean that habits are always beneficial. You know, take smoking as an example. Smokers tend to use cigarettes in order to relieve stress or anxiety. So here, the behavior of using a cigarette as a coping mechanism show us that short-term solutions can have a detrimental effects on long-term health. In other words, you have to know that bad habits may offer short-term gains, but believe me, good habits always reveal their benefits to us immediately. In another chapter, James Clear demonstrates how to entrench habits through 4 steps. The first step, cues. Cues are something visible. There are pieces of information that would suggest that there is a reward waiting for us. The second one is carvings. Carving is about the desire that or the feeling of wanting a reward. Responses are the actions that we do to get a reward. And finally, the reward itself, it's the pleasurable feeling that we get when we have this reward. Well, the question here is when this process can create an entrenched habit. Let's take an example, toddler. Whenever this toddler sees that whenever he throws a toy, you laugh. Here, this toddler will tend to repeat this behavior. because he enjoys having attention. The same thing for those coffee lovers. The cue here is waking up in the morning. The carving is wanting to wake up, and the response is stumbling to the kitchen to make a cup of coffee, and the reward is sipping on the coffee. And that's all about how we entrench habits. And now, after talking about how to, make a habit, you have to know how to build a good habit. You have to know the two things. Our environment shapes what we do, and the second thing, that there are 4 tricks that build a good habit. The first one is make them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Let's take an example. You want to improve your reading skills. Here you need to put a book next to your bed. Here you make it obvious and visible. Next thing, you have to make your room or bed more attractive, so you feel that you really want to read, something that really motivates you. And the third thing, of course, you make it easy to access next to your bed. This is accessible. And let's make it more satisfying, like read a book that the genre of books that you really like, for instance. So, and try to read books that you really enjoy. For instance, if you're someone who likes whatever it is, horror, so here try to read Gothic books. Now, you have to know that the more you enjoy doing something, the more likely this thing sticks with you. And for bad habits, to get rid of bad habits, you need to do the opposite of these 4 tricks. Make it invisible and attractive and difficult and also unsatisfying. For example, by placing junk food out of sight, or if you want to, make your TV harder to watch, just, take the batteries out of the remote control. In another chapter, James Clear emphasizes on the first strategies to build good habits, which are start and stack. You know that when we dream of big changes, usually enthusiasm or excitement takes over, and we tend to do too much. However, this early excitement tends to lead us to the disappointment because we feel that we didn't get our desired results. And here we lose interest in doing this particular thing. The problem is the magnitude of this task hinders our ability to carry on this task. You have to know that if you want to achieve something, you need to focus on the small starting steps and not on the end, the result. For instance, change your focus on finishing a book to just read a few pages. So, now we finish this summary of this book, and if you really like it, please write it in the comment section, and see you next time.